Good morning, peace and love. Happy Thursday, everyone. My name is Kimberly Wright. Thanks for joining and welcome to Hand-Built Pottery. You know, we're finishing up our series of folded clay, which is Japanese origami. I actually had 3 more projects to do. However, we're going to finish our 3rd one today, and we can complete 1 tomorrow. However, it depends on you all if you want to finish, go ahead and do 3 more of the next 2 of the folded origami pieces, or we can definitely just go on to our head or our bust and then come back to those 2 folded origami pieces. So what I'm trying to do is still build up some artwork for you all to put in this year's art show. So please complete anything that you would love to display of your own originality and, you know, do it yourself projects. And also from the time of last year, May, we should have built up some projects to have or exhibit in our art show that we have every year annually. I'm going to just go ahead and start with our holidays and events for today. Today is, once again, Thursday, February the 3rd, 2022. I hope you all are feeling well out there. It's such a wonderful and beautiful day. Today is National Golden Retriever Day. The day the music died day. National Women Physicians Day. National Missing Persons Day. 4 Chaplains Day. 4 as in 4, F-O-U-R. National Carrot Cake Day. Feed the Birds Day. So that just gave me an idea for a project. Let me write that down.
A bird feeder.
Well, we actually made bird houses in this class before. Bird feeders are a really good project to do as well if somebody wants to give one to someone as a gift, especially people who have gardens and those type of back sort of outdoor spaces that they enjoy. And you can also make one for yourself. So that's a good idea, Miss Diana, and I wrote that down. All right. Today is also Elmo's birthday. Oh my God, I can't believe it. And today is Doggy Date Night. Elmo's birthday. I love Elmo. All right. And today is Doggy Date Night. If you have a pet, it's a good night to have a date with your pet, or even celebrate a pet that you have lost or that has gone on. All right. So if you don't have any questions for that, we're going to move right along with our project today. So far for the Japanese origami, we should have completed. I'm going to go ahead and type them in the chat. And this is all of the pieces that I wanted to complete. The first one we did, do you remember, Miss Diana? Anybody remember the first one we did? It's okay, I'm going to put it down. Just giving y'all a chance to show your wit. Envelope fold. The first one we did was the envelope fold. Remember
the next one is the candle holder.
No.
No?
Now we're working on that candle holder now. What was the next one? I'll put it down. It's okay. It was the triangle vase.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that.
It's okay. And now we're on the third one, which is what you said, Miss Gloria, Diana, sorry. What was the third one?
The candle holder.
What kind of candle holder is it?
It looked like a folded triangle.
Yeah, that was the correct answer. All this stuff folded. It's called a pinwheel.
Oh.
It's all right. Pinwheel candle holder. All right. So tomorrow we are going to be creating the Well, I don't know what we're gonna create tomorrow out of these, but these are the last three that we were gonna do as far as the folded set, bon box, tri-fold plate, and the conch shell base. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And before I miss those myself, let me write them down. Envelope fold, triangle base, pinwheel candle holder. That's what we make it today. Finishing it up. And also, I say if you actually see that that pinwheel candle holder can be something else, go for it. Bon box, tri-fold plate, and conch shell vase. Now, I would like to say that if next week when we start the bust, if I don't have at least 3 people in class, we're gonna go ahead and make another folded project, at least 3. Yeah, because I don't want to start something and everybody else comes in class the next week and say, I wasn't here, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But what I'm gonna do is make sure to give everybody a call to say that we're starting that project so everybody can be on point and be in class next week. And even that'll give people who probably haven't been in class for a while a chance to join class and get back in here and do that if they like. So we're gonna go ahead, those are the actual folded Japanese origami projects that we're gonna complete in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and close up that chat and you can get those anytime, and I'm gonna go ahead with our project for today.
Let's do the bonbon box. The folded pinwheel candle broke my brain.
Well, you know, I'm finishing that project because a lot of people wanted to do that. So I'm finishing that today. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do the bonbon box tomorrow. So I'm finishing this actual pinwheel piece today because a lot of people, some people came up here and picked up that actual template to finish it. So I have to finish it. All right. So here we go. Right here, this is my clay I have rolled out. What I want to do is go ahead and roll this design on here. So if you have a design, it's fine. If you don't, it's okay. I put that there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and actually put more design in the centers or around the space just to finish out or off a design. Okay. There, and then from there, I just want to roll this piece all the way around just to give my piece some texture. It's up to you if you want to roll a design or not. It's not mandatory. That's up to your design aesthetic and how you want your piece to look. All right, so I rolled out a design, as you can see. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna take this canvas, put it on this side, and just give it a flip. That also releases it from the canvas. So I'm just gonna lay that down. And then I'm gonna get my template. All right, so the way that you want the template to be is to have the inside circles on the ice cream cone on the outside, meaning like this is going to, okay, this is going clockwise. This is going clockwise. You want the template to go counterclockwise as it pertains to these circles. So they're gonna be coming down to the left on the outside, on the left side, not the right top side, the left side. All right, so I'm putting it down in the center. And I'm just gonna go ahead and trace this template. Some people came up here and picked this template up. If somebody didn't get a chance or is having a problem with making this and you want to get that template later, feel free. These projects will just give you more content to exhibit in our annual show that we have here. And also you can be creative with the design of your piece by actually doing different things to the vases. Like you might want to add things that are raised on the outside so that you can ensure that yours will be different from others. You know, you all know how to make your pieces different. I'm giving basic projects and you're gonna do what it is to make yours unique and original. Make it your own. Even if it's just putting initials on it, a monogram somewhere, maybe a handle, maybe legs. All right, so what I'm doing is just going around this piece carefully and cutting. And so that'll give people time to cut theirs out if they haven't thus far. However, everybody should have been kind of finished with that part last week, which is okay, because I think I kind of did mess up my piece and I just said I'll redo it. So I didn't give up. If it's something that you're just not feeling, it's fine. But don't give up, you can do it. Because it frustrated me too last week, but I just said I'll do it again in class today. All right, once again, those circles, the bite out of the ice cream should be on the left side, bottom side, not going towards the right or going counterclockwise, not clockwise. And so therefore now I'm going to go ahead and cut this clay, the pieces out of here, and reconstitute them right on top of each other. And the next thing I'm going to do is transfer this to a board after I put my square back in the center. And so what I'm going to do is you can continue to look at this template for direction. However, all you want to do is match up the side of the ice cream cone with the next tip or point, like so. I'm putting the ruler right at that tip and I'm lightly drawing a line for my inner square. And so once again here, before I do that, I think I'm going to move it so I can turn it all the way around. So let's get some paper and we are going to flip that over. That's the design here. I'm going to add the paper on that edge. Put my bat on top of it. Put my canvas back over it. Flip it over. All right, and so I'm going to remove this completely from my canvas so I can turn this thing around 360 and work more easily. So now I'm back with my square in the center. I'm going to line up the tip, the side of the ice cream cone with the tip here. Making another line, not making sure not to cut through, but just to draw a nice smooth line. I'm going to go all the way around the piece, the side of the ice cream cone to the tip of the ice cream cone. I'm lining up my ruler, drawing a line. And I'm going to the next ice cream cone, drawing a line for my inner square. The inner square is important as it pertains to actually getting the piece right. So I saw one of my lines a little bit off, and I just went back to fix that. So what I'm going to do is get a prop. I'm going to need about 5 props. So I'm just lightly wetting that paper. You can use newspaper. It's probably more economical to use newspaper than paper towels or something. Do the best you can. Around the outsides, I'm going to use my sponge cushions. And so once I kind of wet that paper and squeeze it out really well, I just really release it again to get some air in it and to actually refold it neat. And what I'm folding is a square. I want to make a square. So on that back side where it's all pushed together, I'm going to wet that so that it can kind of stick together, and press that down. All right, and so that's going to go right there in that center. All right. So what you want to do first is get your spatula or some type of square, and I'm going to work with the outer side. What I'm going to do is kind of put my hand on the outside and lift this up, but kind of make a line with my spatula just to give that sort of like a fold. It's not folding like it properly would, with being that if it was paper. So since it's clay, you kind of have to make the fold first. And that's what I'm doing. It just makes it a little easier. And since I have a design in it, I don't want to smooth my design out, but I do want to kind of push the outside up just a bit, just to make sure that that's all straight. And so for me, since this is the larger pinwheel piece that I've already rolled out of, I'm going to go ahead and just get a jar to sort of hold it so it doesn't flop all the way back down. All right, now I'm going to go to the next side and do the same thing all the way around. Put this up with my hand, place my hand back here just to give it some stability, and press down the inner line gently until I get a good crease, as if I am trying to fold up paper, so to speak. Now I'm going to get me another prop, which is a jar, to actually help hold that up. Just for a second. Next, I'm going to go around. Say that again. Oh, it must be Miss Diana talking to somebody in her house. So I'm going around the board again to the third side, doing the same thing, making sure to make a crease where my square line is, to mimic as if I am folding paper, to give it just a good kind of crease without breaking the clay. And so once again, I'm going to get something to hold that side, since I'm still working around the piece and I don't want that to just fall open and break. All right, going to the fourth side here, making my crease or my fold in the crease line, just like so. Making sure the outside looks really good. And I can use my water bottle to hold that up, because I'm not actually spraying that much water on the piece. So I'm going to pull this over centered, and then I'm going to get my prop that I made, which was my paper towel, going back in the center and placing that there. And you don't want it to be that tall, because the piece is not going to go over that tall as well. I'm gonna do. I'm able to see, as you can see, the in the inside here, where you see space around the piece. I'm just gonna roll a little bit more of my, and actually the prop is not even, the armature or the prop in the inside is not needed necessarily. I just like to do that step so that you don't have any mistakes and it doesn't cave in. It just makes the project simpler to put together. And so right now I'm gonna make some twisted paper, so to speak, just to put right in the areas where the creases were or are around my paper towel so that everything can be filled in. I'm squeezing that paper, making sure all of the moisture is out, filling in, going around. All right, I got one more little piece to put in. And we're gonna go to the back side here. Which is good in this corner. And I'm ready to finish my fold. All right, so the first fold is gonna be this side, and I'm just gonna kind of gently come over like so, gently pressing the piece, and I don't need that prop anymore, so I'm moving it out the way. Just kind of getting the angle down. So this next side is gonna come up to meet, until you meet this circle, so to speak, just like that. Just like that. And so once I kind of get that piece there, I don't smash it per se, I just squeeze it a little bit so that the circle can meet. And now I'm gonna actually move that prop and the next prop so I can be ready.
Kim, you don't have to scratch it, you know, like
I'm gonna scratch it, but not now, because you have to wait till every piece is positioned together.
okay.
So now I'm bringing this piece over like so until this tip meets the circle up here, like so. Now, before I go on, I want to make me a couple of props to hold my pinwheels up. All right. So the first one is going to be, because now you have your pieces sinking. So right here, you see I'm going to sit that back piece up, and then I'm going to take this sponge and just kind of make sure there's a little bit of something up under there. That's all. All right. So for the fourth piece, I'm kind of just leaning it over, but I want to move my prop. And I'm going to bring that piece all the way over, definitely the tip. I'm lifting that last piece up. Then you have to kind of work it all together until you get each tip to come around to form that circle in the center. So as you can see, this piece needs to come up a bit. Boom, boom. And just keep pulling it up until up, until it comes all the way around. And there's my circle. Okay, from here, I'm gonna just put cushions up under this portion to hold it up. And then I'm gonna put maybe just a washcloth, because I'm gonna move this stuff in a couple of minutes. That's why it's just artificial. Just gonna put this up under that part. And so you see I kind of have a circle in the inside. You don't want to lose your design. So around there, so what I'm going to do is bring this camera down. And on the sides here, what I'm going to do is just scratch here gently, just a bit, just a little bit around each top portion where it just hits the top of the pinwheel on the piece. Just a little bit. You don't have to scratch that much because the main part of sealing you have to do on the back side, and then you're gonna have to turn it back over and do it on the front. And then this side, you want to make sure it's flat. So I'm done with that, just a little scratching. And I'm gonna take some water in my brush and just go back and brush that until it builds up a little slip to make a little glue to attach those tips in that part. Okay, so this is just roughly done because you're gonna have to do more work to it once you turn it back around, but you just wanna get that portion together so when you flip it, it doesn't come apart. All right, so from there, I'm going to take another piece of newspaper, sit it on top of here like that. I'm going to get another bat or some type of surface. This is called a plastic bat. All right, this surface, I'm gonna sit this on top of here and put my hand up under here and gently flip. All right, so I'm gonna take all of that stuff off of there. The paper and the bat. And now you can see that it's upside down and I'm actually moving my props. Remember I said those props were like artificial for the turn. Okay, now let me let you see the top of this. Should be a square, or the bottom, so to speak. It should be a square if you folded it or bent it right. And so from here, you kind of want to press the pinwheel petals like so, right on that flat surface to get the pinwheels flat. And then now we're going to go ahead and seal the bottom. We can get the other side sealed and we'll be done with this project. All right, so what you want to do is go to each side where you see probably some cushion or something sticking out. Like, I'm gonna pick it up so you can see, like here, I'm gonna kind of just push that in. And right where the piece looks like it broke a little bit, that's all you want to attach, where it naturally comes together. There's nothing else you're gonna attach. But you wanna make sure everything looks level and straight. So if it looks straighter to push one part in right there to make it a square, then do so, and then go ahead and score the corner wherever everything needed to go together. And before I even go on, I'm going to spatula my edge, smooth everything together. I'm gonna brush any on this edge here. If you see the clay is looking a little cracked, then you can go ahead and add some moisture to that, brush it. Go ahead and smooth the edge of that petal you just scored. Smooth with your finger if you like, and or sponge, and dry all of that up. Make sure to press the petals down a little flat, but gently. Smooth out the edge where the cracks or the clay was bent at. And then go to the next side, which would be this corner here. And see right here, I can push that in a little bit and actually just score it. Everything is kind of like already together. Just score right there. Smooth, brush the edge, put some water there. Get everything smooth and refined on the bottom side, so that when you turn it over, you don't have to worry about it, because you know you've already done one side. You just have to do whatever you see on the top. Don't forget about this edge here where you see cracks from the clay bending, because it's not paper. So it's gonna have some type of distortion from where you tried to bend it per se. And then here, I'm just making sure to join that edge together with my finger. And then I'm going to go around to the next side, which is right here in this crease. You see, all I got to do is kind of squeeze that together with my hand, my fingers, and then I'm going to score it, making sure everything dissolves together, those lines disappear. Spatula, smooth, go around the edge, wet, edge, brush, smooth, sponge, smooth that with my finger first, make sure everything feels smooth, and then sponge that smoothly. Make sure this edge is moisturized where the cracks would be, and sponge. Press that pedal down and go on to the last one. All right, this is the last one. We're gonna squeeze that up gently together, score it. Push this up as well. Make sure everything looks aligned. Smooth it with water, finger. And the edge, water. Sponge it dry, press the pedal down. Oh, I broke that apart again. So, all right, now it's time to flip this baby back over. Everything is smooth on the outside and the edges are all done. I'm gonna get my clay. And since I haven't actually put these pieces up, I might find a good piece on here, a pattern that I could make a design or something with if I decide to. So what I'm going to do now is get my previous batch. All right. Newspaper on the back of it. Get the back, slide it off of the surface to put your hand up under it and gently flip. Now you want to go ahead and hurry and get your props again to prop them or sit them beneath your the pinwheels, the pedals of the pinwheel. And here I'm going to use these double sponges. Maybe not. So from there, I'm just going to get some paper towel to make up the space for where I don't have sponge. The two sponges were too tall. And then I have to spray this so it doesn't come loose. All right. And so what you're going to do to ensure that this front side is flat, let me make sure to put this second cushion here, is you're going to go ahead and put, once you put your props there, I think I need a little bit more up under here. Once you put your props there up under your petals, what I'm going to do is put another piece of newspaper on top. not another piece, just a piece of newspaper, period. And I'm gonna put something flat, a book, the back, and I just want to give it like a leveled press to make sure the pinwheels are pressed the same level flat surface. When it feels leveled, then go ahead and take that up. And then let's do our last smoothing, which I'm just gonna go around this piece, around these creases right here, and smooth. See any blemishes, cuts, breaks, this is the time to smooth them. If you have to tighten anything up, just kind of push it up a bit. All right. So I like to put a little lip on my outer circle right here. I'm just going to quickly show you how to do that, and we're going to conclude class for today. I just want to smooth out my petals anywhere where it looks like they need to be smooth, and I'll show you how to smooth the edges as well, because they should have gotten pressed somewhat on the other side. I've already finished my small pinwheel candle holder, so I'll be able to show you that as well. All right. So I'm gonna take this sponge and clean it. I'm going to smooth around each petal till I get the desired smoothness that I want. Just take a couple of seconds. And then on the edge, you kind of just squeeze the sponge on the edge corners like that, and then it'll smooth up your edges really beautifully for you. Dry up some of that moisture. If you need to smooth anything with your fingers, feel free. All right, I'm just squeezing some moisture right there because it looks like I need a little slip in that crease. That's what I'm gonna do all the way around. All right, and so now I just wanna clean that out again and put my prop back up under that petal that I took this piece from. And I'm gonna go ahead and make the outside lip. So what I'm gonna do is just slide this piece out of the way for a second, and I'm gonna take my newspaper in the back, and I'm looking for a pattern from this clay that I just reconstituted. All right, so here's the clay. I'm just gonna roll this flower back out on here because really there is no pattern left really. And I'm actually pressing to make that clay even. And I'm gonna measure this circle here. It's about as large as this glaze container. I'm going to draw a circle here and cut this out. Actually, what I did is just found the container that I thought was the size of the circle. So once you kind of look for something in your room or your workspace that looks like the size, you can put it over it. If it's not quite the size, you can eyeball it or find something different. And so once I have that circle there, what I'm going to do is just cut a thin border from that, making a thin circle, so to speak. And keep it even going all the way around. I'm going to turn this so that I can get it to turn with my hand. All right, I don't want that too thick, so if I need to go a little thinner, I'm going to go thinner before I actually pull my clay up around it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the clay, release it from around here. Just going to sit that there to see how it looks. It looks like a good size. So what I'm going to do is go back and score around the top edge of this piece. And you don't even have to add a lip if you don't want to. I just think that it makes a little raised portion around the candle where the candle actually sits. So that's all up to you. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of slip, which is going to hold that little thin strip of circle around here. Adding that circle and just positioning it where I want it. Actually, what I'm going to do, it's a little bit wide, too long. So what I'm going to do is just cut it, and I cut a piece out, and I'm going to place it back right there. And actually, it's still a little bit long, so I'm cutting another piece out of it until I get the desired size that I want, because so far I done cut two or three more pieces out of it. All right, and I think that's perfect. It's already together. And what I'm going to do is just scratch the inside up into the lip that I just put there, or the piece, which is that outside circle. And then I'm just going to take this brush, put a little slip on the inside, little slip on the outside. I'm going to take my spatula. I said that's so hard to sound, like Dracula. All right, and I'm going to go around the edge and kind of just smooth and push that in a bit before I actually do my last and final smooth. I'm going to gently tap and press that down so that the moisture can seethe out of there, so to speak, or get tighter. And then I'm going to clean this brush in my water here. This again looks like it still needs to be a little bit higher. Yep, that's good. And this one needs to be a little bit higher as well. All right, and so now I'm cleaning my brush. I'm gonna smooth around this piece. The reason why I hit it on the bottom is so that clay can come out of the bristles of the brush. Because if you just do like that, the clay is so thick it doesn't move like that. I'm going in the inside and smoothing where I scored and slipped it, going around back and forth both ways. And now I'm going to just squeeze this in tight or push it in until I get the desired shape of my circle that I want. And it would look a little better as far as presentation if it didn't have all the props and everything around it. However, I have to keep those there to hold my piece up until it leathers. And I will be checked as long as I am at the facility today. I'll be coming back and forth to check that time and time again, just to make sure as it shrinks a bit that everything is in the right place. And so now I just want to kind of go around it and making sure that each petal, the edges are shaped properly or turned the right way from the side as well. So I'm just looking from the side edges. That looks good. And so here is, for some reason, I just want to keep that little flower piece right there. I'm just going to keep that, let it dry right there. Might use it for something, to put out a candle or something, who knows. All right, so right before class started, I did have a chance to do the smaller pinwheel candle holder, and this is it. You can see when it turns, it gives you an illusion of it actually spinning, so to speak. And so that's the smaller one. And this is the larger one. You can see in size that it's a bit bigger, but not that much. All right, so right now, both of those pieces, so to speak, I'm gonna rinse my hands quickly and take any comments or questions. So tomorrow, this was the last, tomorrow, this is the last week for the folded projects, and we're gonna be actually doing one tomorrow. However, next week is when we start on our busts. So I'll give everybody a chance to do that. Get your things together. Anybody have any questions, comments, anything? Well, I hope you all enjoyed these so far, these 3 folded projects that we have, and have such a hard time getting our materials together for this year's art show. You all probably want to start, go ahead and take pictures of your artwork, and I'm going to create a new website this year, an email address for you all to submit them. So just so we'll get cracking and get a head start, I'm going to create that the email by next week, and give you all the email address to start submitting any pieces that you want to exhibit this year. And if you have any ideas that you would like to see for the art show this year that were not highlighted last year, or you got some ideas from seeing other people's shows, please let me know so that we can make our show even better this year. And thank you so much for joining Hand-Built Pottery. My name is Kimberly Wright. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you, everybody.